Hey Sagittarius, welcome to July 2020. I am starting off all these readings by kind of briefly going over the title of my channel, The Revolutionary Revolution. Black Lives Matter, and I feel like we're here at a moment of revolution. I came up with this idea for this channel, not for this channel, I came up with the idea of the name. In 2013, I was at a particularly shitty job, and I was like, wow, this system is really unjust. For example, right? I was like, wow, this is so fucked up, and there should be a revolution. But I was thinking, like, we need to revolutionize the way we do revolutions in that, like, if I revolutionize my consciousness, if I heal myself, if I confront this inner demon, then as above, so below, as within, so without, right? So kind of like Sagittarius. Also, I'm really... what's going on with you, Sagittarius? Look at this. Like, talk about, like, I kind of, like, look, I don't know a lot about twin flames. I don't do twin flame readings. Like, look, I'm not a twin flame person. But I am, like, look at, like, the mirroring happening here. You know, I mean, are these not mirrors of one another with very different meanings, light and dark energy? And lately a lot of my readings seem to be about Star Wars, so I'll go with it. Thinking about Kylo Ren and Rey and how they like kissed at the end, and how personally I was a fan of that part. And then he died. Sagittarius. I'm just kind of like I'm like going off the deep end now. But I do feel like there is this cosmic partner, at least, like this very deep soul connection you have with someone, where the purpose of this relationship is really a mirror to show you yourself and to show you your own wounds, your own darkness, your own tendencies to, like, enact harm unconsciously. This is really a time, I think, of taking total accountability for our relationship with ourselves, in how our relationship with ourselves is always mirrored in all of our relationships. How we're treating others is also a reflection of where we're at with ourselves. And I think that this opportunity for love and for connection and for togetherness also brings us opportunities to look at where we're wounded and where we're hiding from parts of ourselves or our own addictions. It's kind of like, to me, the devil at this point is just like, what is unconscious? What are the programs operating that we don't have awareness of that have control over us? And that's like why they're addictions, right? Because it's like the program is running us, we're not running ourselves. And the more we come in right relationship with ourselves and right relationship with others, like, the less this darkness maybe is controlling us, or like being, you know, like it's like more of an ally energy. Because, like, I think that the devil, I don't like to demonize the devil, so to speak. Like, I think this devil within, too, like our darkness, I think really, like Kylo Ren, right? I mean, I think to bring it back to Rey and Kylo Ren, they were both mirroring each other in the fact that Rey was, like, born of, like, Palpatine's bloodline, but she was a good person. And then he was born of, like, all these good people, heroes, and he was, like, trying out his dark side. So they were both, like, kind of like their yin and the yang of one another, and it was like, Kylo Ren had to point out to Rey, like, hey, you, like, act like such a good person, but you have this darkness within you, too. Like, maybe you should own that. And she, likewise, was like, hey, well, you act like you're such a brooding, like, sad, like, MF, but, like, really you are a good person, so, like, why are you pretending that you're not just, like, a nerd who's really nice? Sagittarius, I'm kind of just going off on, like, crazy rants at this point in my tarot readings. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm just an insane, person on the internet. And you're just spending time listening to my ramblings in the hopes, perhaps, maybe what you're hoping is that you're going to get divine guidance about when you're going to meet the love of your life. Well, I mean, I'm here to say that, like, the love of your life really is within you. Truly. It's your own relationship with yourself. And that's what you're always working on with all your relationships, all the connections in your life. But particularly when we find someone who's deeply mirroring us. And so it's like, is that really what you want? You really want someone to come and mirror you and, like, show you all your darkness and, like, help you get it into balance and heal it and in right relationship? All right. I guess that's what the universe is saying, if that's what you really want. What did I just say? I don't even know. I'm channeling this shit. Like, I'm not even, like, halfway aware of what I just said. But if this entertains you, I'm so pleased. The Hermit, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and then we got some Knights. So, like I was talking about love. I mean, this is probably a love interest coming in, I'm guessing, or a love interest that's present. And I think you're particularly contending with these energies of air and earth. You being a fire sign, interesting. I think maybe you as a fire sign are also kind of like, this is such an interesting reading because we got, I'm going to come back to these guys. Okay, the Hermit. I mean, you got all this, like, heavy twin flame shit going on. Like, this person coming into your life, or who was already in your life, who is, like, showing you all of you. And I think you're just seeing this clearer picture of yourself, or beginning to anyway, or at least you're seeing a reflection of you. That's maybe all you know. And you're like, okay, I'm seeing this reflection of myself and who I am, and it's changing my self-perception, my understanding of myself, and it's causing me to kind of, like, renegotiate some contracts within my own soul almost about, like, where do I let the darkness control me versus where am I gonna, like, choose something and supersede that and be greater than, like, my lower impulses, for example. And not in a, like, abstinence way, more in a, like, just being in, like, this knowing awareness energy where you are just kind of, like, more in a zen flow state of, like, always being at your best, being connected to divine love and to your higher self. This, at this point, is going to be a higher self. So, again, I hardly know if I'm making any sense, but with the Hermit, I feel like this is a time for you to really, like, take all of this insane, like, revelations, awarenesses, options, choices. Like, I mean, the Lover is about choices too. So it's like, okay, like, for example, like, here I am with, like, the partner of my wildest dreams, and this person is, like, literally, like, not the missing half of my soul, but, like, the perfect complement to my soul, where I'm like, it really bends my understanding of space and time itself, basically. Like, it's intense, crazy shit. Like, it's, like, basically Kylo Ren and Rey. Whatever. It's a lot. These two cards, in and of themselves, are, like, just nuts to me. So, Hermit is like, wow, I think I should take some time out to, like, integrate this, to be alone, to, like, be with myself, to be with my own energy, to, like, process that reflection of myself that I just saw in this deep connection. And, like, I think I need to just, like, be with me and, like, touch into my own energies, everything I've been through, and kind of, like, do that. And also, you know, the Four of Pentacles in reverse is such a, like, crazy energy to show up, because it's like, I feel like you're just letting go, right? You're letting go of the clinging on to the old identity, and you're really just kind of like, okay, I feel like my mind's melted, and I, like, can barely understand anything, let alone who I am, but I'm just letting go of that need to know what I've just seen. Like, I've had my mind blown, and that's fine. It's a lot, so I'm just gonna let my mind melt. I'm just gonna, like, not stress about it so much, but I am gonna, like, go inward. Maybe write about it. Writing sounds good to me. I don't know if you're a writer, but processing. I think writing is a great way to process things, but however you do it, maybe for you it's art. Maybe for you, I do feel a sense of like creating to process, creating to kind of like retell it, to kind of like see it before your own eyes. So it's like I've seen this deep, intense reflection of myself, perhaps in someone else, in a cosmic partner, right? And this has brought up a lot of feelings, a lot of fears, a lot of truth, a lot of like really interesting, cool possibilities. And now I'm not running away from this, but I am like checking in with me. For example, this is just what I'm getting. If someone proposed marriage, like you met, you had a whirlwind like kind of encounter, and they're like, I think we're meant to get married. You could get into hermit mode and you're like, wow, that was a lot. And maybe, yes, maybe I can let go of the notion that things need to look a certain way to make sense. Maybe things don't always have to make logical sense, but they have to make sense to me. I have to be sure to check in with my number one, which is myself. I need solitude perhaps to do that. I need maybe some way to process or create to kind of like get some, deeper understanding of where I'm at. And that's part of my process. It's like meeting your twin flame. Twin flame meet, you like, it brings up all this shit that you're like, wow, that's a lot. You're like, wow, that's a lot. That's like all I got. It's like, wow, that's a lot. My mind's melting. That's okay. I'm letting it go. I'm letting go of the need for things to like make sense. I'm repeating myself, but just to get it out. And I'm going inward. And I'm like, all right, with all this new information, what is true for me? What is important to me? And then we got the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. And I do feel like you're perhaps dealing with an earth or an air sign. But also I feel like there's kind of this new rush of like collaborating with this energy and letting it help you and your perspective, right? Because you're a fire sign. So with like a bunch of air, for example, like if a bunch of air came in, then it might like blow out your flames. And part of it like being a rush, right? So, but also it can fan your flames likewise, and it can make you grow larger. So I think thinking about air energy, it's like, how is the situation that you're in either overpowering your sense of self or supporting your sense of self? So with this card, it's like, how is the situation I'm in or finding myself in either overwhelming my sense of self or empowering my sense of self? Those are the questions to ask yourself. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, Earth, I think about Earth can be a container, again, to support your true self and to give you space to grow. Or Earth can just kind of like be, you maybe can like overpower Earth too with your sense of self. So thinking about that kind of duality too, right? Where am I supported in my relationships? Where do my relationships overpower me? And where am I overpowering the other person's sense of self too? Like really just checking in with like the balances of energy and how you and another person coexist or interact, and where the boundaries lie is what I'd say. And not in a the boundaries are important just because it's about containers for you both to be true to yourselves and be whole and not just like kind of like get enmeshed. Even though you are like the perfect complements to one another, there's a sense of like making sure that you can kind of like maintain your own autonomy and like your own storyline within the greater story that maybe you guys are starting to interweave. And letting go of old anything, preconceived notions, logic, the need to make sense of it all, the need to rush, like just letting go. Letting the experience take you where it will. Because a lot is happening. And this is one of the craziest readings I've ever done. I hardly know if it makes sense. But I'm just gonna post it and see if it resonates with anyone. And if not, it doesn't matter. But it sounds like twin flame shit. Sounds fun, sexy, and exciting. And revolutionary. And let me know how it goes. Alright. Love you. Bye.